Renderman walk-in teapots is probably one of the most sought-after items at SIGGRAPH every year, and in today's episode from Meshmen Studio, I'm gonna take a look at Renderman 21.7 introduction. So this is the first in a series of Renderman tutorials coming up from my channel here, and yeah, let's dive into it now. So we have the interface here and the Renderman is up and running, but if you haven't enabled it, let's see here, then you have to go to Plugin Manager, Renderman for Maya, and load it there. So you can get Renderman over at Renderman Pixar, so let's go there, let's go and see where we can get it. Renderman. Let's search for Renderman and see what we get. Pixar Renderman, so rendermanpixar.com, and so yeah, it's free. So I would go and download it immediately. So once you've done that and registered for the, where is it? The non-commercial, if you are not on a commercial license, and install it, and we jump into Maya. And here we have it. So this is gonna be a quick introduction. So in the next episode I will actually start to look at this, because it's been in the Mari series and it's also been actually on the Renderman forum and as a different type of tutorial. So this is a refresher here on my site where I retexture this in the Mari node graph this time. So I want to revisit the look development of this as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the basics here. So the first we see here, we have the Renderman shelf, and here we have some of the actual interactions with the Renderman hands-on. Render current frame IPR. So IPR is actually like an interactive renderer. So to see this in action, we can take this a little sun icon, and that's adding a light. So we have different way of add light. We can turn a object into a mesh light with this icon. This one is adding in my case now dome light, but if you right click you can get a portal light and environment daylight, so that's different way. The dome light is the one I'm used the most, so we can map an HDR on this. So I'm gonna jump into my HDR library. So let's take an HDR here to see what we have. My server here, and go to global, take my old office in London. Have to make a new one here. Actually we want to add a shader on this, so this is gonna be crash course, it's not gonna go deep into everything. So repeating here, we have lights. So we have a rect light, that's like a softbox. Distant light, that's for simulating, or disk light, that's a round version of the area light. And then we have distant light, that's like simulating you know, sun, moon, and these kind of effects. And sphere light, that's to make it like a round area light. Okay, so I want to apply a shader. So we have here this one that looks like a ball with a star on it. I guess it comes from one of the old Renderman movies. We have PXRsurface and layered surface and Marshner. So I'm gonna take PXRsurface and apply, and then we get this. I skipped this one, but it's that's a blocker. So you can add blockers. So if you're used to photography, a blocker will be something they put between the light and the subject. In cinematography, there's also called like gobos, so the go between objects. So I use that to feather off light and make effects on how the light shines on objects. Okay, so let's fire up an IPR here and see what happens. And should get an interface called it, and it's this icon here. So let's see when it starts to render here, and there we go. Here we have the asset. Actually, I'm gonna pause this and briefly look at it here. But first, I just wanna briefly here take the visibility of the light and say camera visibility, so it becomes, so we can see it in the viewport. So let's fire up an IPR again here. So now we get the background. So this is cool. So there's some limitations here in 21.7 what you can do. Sometimes you have to restart IPR. And I saw some demos of the upcoming 22 from earlier different type of like Renderman gatherings. That was on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever I saw it, and it looked very promising because you can do a lot of more things now in upcoming versions. But yeah, this is cool to actually tweak shading. So the IT interface here, that's the render view in Renderman. We have a few options here, so if I hit C button here, I get a catalog, so I can see previous render and flip between them. We can get the eye, the inspector here, so you get some information of different things. And also, there's a few options. You can like zoom, you can move around, and this one is a crop tool. Scrub, I don't really use them that much, but you can like set IPR regions and stuff like that. This one, it selects the geometry, so you don't have to go there to select it. You can actually just click on this and select on top of the render itself, and it will select the geometry. So yeah, that's a good one. And looking here, this one as well, this selects the shader on the object. So if you will have a lot of objects, you can just click on the object in the render view and will select the shader. So that's a good thing if you want to start to tweak this. So now we see here, over here in this area, I get attributes for this shader. So let's turn this red or something, and you see it updates. We can put on some reflections or specular on this one, tweak the roughness, for example. We can make some kind of, actually let's make a car paint out of this. So I want something that's kind of like that, a rough something. Then I want to add a clear coat. Let's make a tinted clear coat here, just to try something. And energy compensation maybe. Let's see what we can do. Let's take some iridescence and make this some kind of funky, like yeah, car paint ish. So yeah, so this is the basics of shading. We're gonna go next episode. I will actually set up a look dev scene and start to look dev with my textures onto this that I exported in the last episode from the Mari side. So we have gain here and gamma on if you wanna see, like for example, if you wanna see what instead of increasing the exposure on the HDR, you can just do like this and see what happens, or decrease it. You can see the dynamic range there in my HDR. Set this back and abort this. So let's take a look here. What else do we have? This one is for volumes. You can assign volume shading and stuff. I'm not gonna do it now. This one is if you have a like a ground plane and you want to catch shadows or reflections, you set it up with this. So this one you can import rib archives and those type of things, and that's something I might look at in later episodes. That's this window, you can see it here, and the light lister here. This is an interface to control your lights in the scene. Let's make another light here and see. Let's say a rec light. It's a very small light here to increase it. Let's look through selected. and just scoot it over so we get some kind of directionality and see where it is. So yeah, there we can see it. And so now we have the doom light and direct light, and let's fire up an IPR again so we can see what this one does. So this one is a way to isolate or tweak stuff in the interface. Let's see here. So I can, for example, let's solo the rec light. So you're just gonna use the rectangular light. As you see, it's quite dim here, so we can increase the exposure. Let's set it to 6 or something so we can see. Here we see it. Yeah, we can now we have both of them. We can just take this one. It's gonna be HDR, so that's a way. But you can also, for example, if you wanna, for example, say make this color here to something green color, and so now I tinted the light green there, tinted white to white. So yeah, so there's different options, and this one you can also go to materials and see materials. You can start to tweak stuff here as well. I don't use it this way. I mainly use it for lights, to be honest. And you can you do light sets as well and different stuff. That's gonna look at later. You can, for example, like you do light groups and spit them out on rendering. So you might wanna isolate just the effect of this rec light, for example, so you can tweak further in comp, and that's a possibility. Okay, so let's close this, and dynamic rules editor. This one, to be honest, I'm not so experienced in, but it's a way to kind of add rule-based shading. For example, isolate everything called something. It's kind of like something that's maybe the render layers or in Maya has also adopted, like a script-based shading approach. This one is gonna be, if I click on it, let's pause this. This one is the texture manager, and we convert our textures. So when you render something in Renderman, you need a format called TEX. It doesn't take anything, so it has to be the Renderman format, and this one is a tool to convert textures into that format. So I use that to convert my textures before I render them. So more on that in the next episode when I do the look dev. It's the preset browser. There we have it. So we can actually assign here different, comes with a number of environment lights, so you can add stuff to this. You can also have some light rigs and materials. So let's assign a few materials and see what happens. Let's take this copper, import and assign to selected. So let's fire up an IPR and see what happens when I render with copper. So there's some neat materials in this preset, so you can use it as like dissect and see what it's made up of. Let's take something else. Black oxidized steel, maybe gold. Who doesn't want a gold Gatling gun? So yeah, it ships with a lot of materials, and you can also add your own presets into this. I can show that in later episodes as well. And this one, so projection editor, I haven't really used it that much, to be honest, either. So I'm not gonna cover it here. Might take a look in a later episode. Statistics, so if you have a render, you can get statistics. I don't have a render yet here, so let's close it. And yeah, that's a shelf. so render settings now is as in Maya under render settings, and you have the common tab. That's the general, like the same as Maya, but then you come here to sampling, and this is where you set, for example, the quality, how many samples, and the main one to actually control the amount of noise is probably pixel variance and min and max samples. Path tracer and integrators, that's something we can just take a brief look at and see what happens. So if I fire up an IPR here and start to render again, we see here my when I have a path tracer on, it's gonna be path tracing. So this is the default one, and then you have like VCM, for example, and that's that's a bidirectional path tracing that's included in Renderman. And you also have, for example, like default, that's a really basic, so that's I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be. It's more like a quick debug. Direct lighting is, there is no indirect in this one, it's just the main first bounce there. Occlusion, if you want to check your scene with occlusion on, you can just switch it over. Path tracer, that's the default one. You can set to ECM validate BXDF or visualizer, and you can set this to different type of like shaded, flat. It's a way to examine your scene mainly. So yeah, if you want to see normals, you can just switch it over to visualizer. So path tracer, the default one, and yeah. So features here you have, you can denoise and do other type of things. Motion blur, if you want to render with motion blur, you probably want on passes. This is where you can speed out. For example, I talked about light passes. So you can add first off your everything that needed for comp, but you can also get per light contribution. Advanced, here you will this is the, for example, when you tweak stuff, this is the more technical section. For example, cache sizes and stuff. If you have a lot of textures, you might want to increase the texture size here. If you have a lot of memory, it usually speeds up rendering a bit. Also dice watertight, if you have ever have displacement and you see some strange scenes and stuff, you might want to check dice watertight. The Renderman menu here, it's kind of, some of it is actually the same as here, but you have also other type of things here. You can create, like add sub-D attributes and stuff, so that's something you can do from here. I will go into more detail about this in later episodes. So yeah, that's kind of a very basic rundown of Renderman. So thanks for hanging out with me here today, and if you want to support my channel, consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. And in the next one, we're gonna go into the look development process and set up some scenes. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.